Well, first of all, good afternoon, everybody. I want to welcome you and to thank you for coming. I see many have come, and I hope we will have all the answers to your questions. My name is Abrunhosa, as was said before. I'm a tobacco farmer from Portugal in my free time, because I am also the chief executive of the only association of tobacco growers worldwide, representing farmers organizations from 27 countries, representing more than 30 million growers, 30. Because tobacco is the most labor-intensive crop in the world, so where there is tobacco, there are lots of families and growers. And we are here representing those growers from Asia, where we have obviously, as in everything else, the biggest population of tobacco growers in the world. We represent growers, farmers, and workers from our farms, because millions and millions of families depend on tobacco growing all over the world, and especially in Asia. We are launching today a campaign through a website called saveourfarms.org. And this campaign is launched precisely because we want to have our opinions clear on the web for everybody to consult them. And we have also the wish to have the presence of farmers through interviews, through positions in that website, and we will have a petition that we will deliver to our governments. We invite everybody who wants to cooperate with us to sign that petition online through our website. And we are meeting here today because our business, our family's businesses, are under threat today. And the threat comes from what is in the jargon, the technical jargon, from what is called the COP5 meeting, which will be a meeting of the parties who have signed the treaty of the World Health Organization on tobacco control. That treaty used to propose measures related with tobacco consumption, but in the last years, through what is called Article 17 and 18 of that treaty, a lot of regulation has come our way, not on consumption, but on tobacco production. Through a set of measures, or proposed measures, that will be decided in Korea, which will affect very drastically the way we produce tobacco. And we are discussing these measures for two reasons. One is that we have not been heard in any measures which will affect drastically the futures of millions of families of tobacco growers. And second, because those measures, as I said, are on production, and they will never have any impact on consumption, because they will not affect the countries that have not ratified the FCTC, and all the measures to reduce tobacco production in some countries would be obviously compensated by the countries which are not constrained by the FCTC measures. So these measures will not have any impact on health whatsoever, no positive impact, and they would have a huge devastating impact on the lives of millions of growers, because these measures are proposing basically to reduce or even phase out production of tobacco all over the world, because more than 170 countries have ratified the FCTC, so the countries that have ratified would have to turn these measures into national legislations. And these measures are, from our point of view, are quite absurd, because demand is going up. Under WHO's figures, the demand for tobacco products will increase in the coming decades from 1 billion smokers to 1.6 billion smokers, so that demand will have to be supplied by someone. And the farmers are there to supply that demand. But those measures want to ban a lot of the present situation of tobacco growing. They want to ban technical assistance from the buyers to the growers. They want to ban minimum support prices. They want to fix the seasons when we plant tobacco by government decree. They want to reduce tobacco production by decree. They want governments to limit and even reduce the production of tobacco in the coming years. And we say this is absurd, because, as I said, there will be no impact on health, and this would have just a disrupting effect on the way growers grow tobacco all over the world. That's why we have 8 countries here represented, from the biggest producing countries in Asia. Only one is missing. And we have been discussing all morning what we shall do about this. And we want to do basically 2 things. One is to offer our cooperation to the FCTC and the WHO to explain the difficulties and the possibilities of replacing tobacco by other crops, because nobody in the world knows better what is possible to do and what is difficult or impossible to do to replace tobacco. No one knows better than we, the growers. But very strangely, we are not admitted to the discussion. WHO will never has and does not want to listen to us. And this is a very strange situation, because we are the most affected people. Our families will be the most impacted by these measures. We have by far the most varied knowledge about what can be done, and WHO will not accept our opinion or our studies or our experience. We consider this to be very negative. And so we are left with the other thing that we can do, which is to say, obviously, to our governments and to governments of countries who are interested in the future of rural areas and families of tobacco growers, to say to those governments, you have to stop these measures from being implemented before there are studies and research that will support them. We basically say one thing: think first, act after, and not the other way around. Do not act without thinking or without researching or without the opinions and the knowledge of those who know. So we will insist that we offer our cooperation, but until our voice is heard, we will say no to these measures. We will say postpone these decisions, think first, act afterwards.